it's Alec Tritton. I'm Chairman of the Halstead Trust and Chairman of the Secret Lives Conference. And I've managed to snag yet another of our speakers, Sylvia Valentine.
Hello.
And Sylvia will be speaking at the conference, and she's talking about children in the workhouse. Well, children actually in care in the workhouse. Mm-hmm. So what got you interested in this then, Sylvia?
Well, when I was doing my University of Dundee course, master's course in local and family history, one of the first assignments I had to do was to use workhouse records to, for what purpose could they be used for local and family history research? And not really knowing quite where to start, I went to the local library and said, can I have a look at some of the workhouse records? And she said, where do you want to start? I said, well, let's begin at the beginning. It seems a sensible place to start. And as I was browsing through the records, and I also looked at the letter books of the workhouse, as well as the minute books, I came across a story about 5 orphan boys in the workhouse and the lengths to which the guardians were concerning themselves about these particular boys. And I thought, well, this seemed slightly out of the ordinary. It seemed to be more concerned than usual. And so when I'd finished the assignments, I did some research on these 5 boys.
You got well and truly interested.
I got well and truly interested. I did some research on the 5 boys, and I think it's a great exercise in lateral thinking, because I think I've used approximately 20 different record sets to put their history story together from 1837 when they first appear. And I've definitely got them, or at least one of them, in 1891 when he disappears in a puff of smoke. But there'll be more about that at the Secret Lives Conference.
Of course,
it's an excellent example.
And where did you find these records?
Well, my local studies library, part of the library in Keighley where I live, is very fortunate. For some reason, it's got 2 sets of workhouse records. It has the Keighley Union and the North Byerley Union records. And North Byerley Union records differ slightly when we get to, well, obviously all workhouse records, what has survived varies from place to place, as you know. But I found a lot of interesting stuff about things like scattered homes, the cottage homes that they ran. They've got an amazing collection of fostering agreements between people and families. And in their minute books of the children's committees, when I'm looking round about 1908, something of this sort, and I find a particular boy who's been fostered out by a family, and he goes off to Canada with the family. Right. And so I followed his story as well, more at the conference, obviously. But it had a very sad end in 1916, and I'm sure you can imagine why.
Oh, right, yes, obviously, yes. So that's really interesting. And the boys, were the girls in the same workhouse?
Oh, yes, there were girls in the workhouse, and I found another example where 3 children are taken into care under the 1899 legislation, because obviously their mother's not considered suitable lady. And so that's a very interesting story, so I hope to tell that one as well.
Oh, well, we're looking forward to it already. Okay, and any particular reason why you decided to concentrate on children in the workhouse and not adults?
Well, I just thought that children can be almost lost because of census records, for example, where they might turn up in one census record and then they disappear. And really what I wanted to be able to show was that although they may only turn up in that one census record, if you look at things like minute books and committee meetings and all the sorts of things that most people might think, oh, very boring, there are actually some amazing stories there if you take the time and effort to look.
I think you've got me heading back to my local studies library already, looking for some records. Other than that, obviously you're attending the whole conference, though I understand it's going to be a bit of a flit and fly from Edinburgh down.
It is.
But what are you hoping to get out of the conference?
Well, I've already seen some of the talks that other people are presenting, and I know 1 or 2 of the presenters, obviously. And I think some of the topics are really, really interesting and give us all food for thought about what other things that we could actually look at.
I mean, John Reed is actually talking about immigrants to Canada, so maybe he's going to tell the other side of that story.
I think, well, you never know, and I might have to make sure that I'm there to listen to his talk as well.
Right, well, I shall definitely be coming to see yours, Sylvia. It's very interesting, and thank you very much.
Thank you.